All right, if you're gearing up for that AWS Certified Solutions Architect exam, you know this stuff is huge. Database backup and recovery, absolutely non-negotiable. So today, we're going to do a real deep dive, a study session on a core piece of that puzzle, Amazon RDS Snapshots. My goal, to get you totally ready to crush those exam questions.
And this right here, this is the kind of problem you'll be solving every day as a solutions architect. It's never just about hitting a backup button, right? It's about crafting a whole strategy. You've got to think about performance, how fast you can recover, how precisely you can recover, and you always have to keep an eye on the cost. And that's exactly where RDS Snapshots come in. They're AWS's answer to this whole balancing act.
Okay, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the basics, what these snapshots even are. Then we'll get into the really important part, the difference between automated and manual. After that, we'll talk about restoring, performance, cost, all the good stuff. We'll even touch on some advanced features and then wrap it all up with a lightning round of key takeaways for your exam. Sound good? Let's do it.
All right, first up, let's define our terms. What exactly is an RDS snapshot?
Okay. Now, this is a super important point for the exam, so listen up. An RDS snapshot is not like a traditional database dump, like a MySQL dump. Think of it differently. It's a block-level copy of the entire storage volume underneath your database. It's like taking a picture of the whole hard drive. And because they're incremental, after that first big snapshot, AWS is smart enough to only copy the little bits and pieces that have actually changed. It's crazy efficient.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. This is probably one of the most common things they'll test you on when it comes to RDS. If you can nail the difference between automated and manual snapshots, trust me, you are way ahead of the curve.
So this chart breaks it down perfectly. Think of it like this. Automated snapshots, that's your daily safety net. It's for operational recovery, giving you that window of up to 35 days to fix things. But manual snapshots, they're for the big stuff. Long-term archival, meeting those tough compliance rules, or that I'm about to do a huge upgrade and I don't want to break anything, backup. They stick around forever, or at least until you decide to delete them.
And this is the secret weapon that comes only with automated backups. It's called point-in-time recovery, or PITR. I like to call it the ultimate undo button. Someone accidentally deletes a huge table at 2:37 p.m.? No problem. You can rewind the clock and restore the database to exactly how it was at 2:36 p.m. It works by grabbing the last daily snapshot and then applying all the little transaction logs right up to the second you need. And for the exam, burn this into your brain. PITR is a superpower of automated backups, and automated backups only. So you might be wondering, how in the world does it get that precise? Well, it's because it's not just doing a daily snapshot. Behind the scenes, RDS is constantly grabbing your transaction logs and shipping them off to S3 every 5 minutes. It's this steady stream of changes that makes that super precise, down-to-the-second recovery possible.
Okay, let's put this into practice with a classic exam scenario. Your company says, we need to keep quarterly backups for 7 years to meet compliance rules. What do? Well, the alarm bell should be going off. You hear 7 years, and you immediately know automated snapshots are out because they max out at 35 days. The only way to do this is with manual snapshots. You create them, and they stay put until you say otherwise.
All right, so you've got your backups, everything's great, but then disaster strikes. You actually have to use one. Let's go through how that works because there's a huge gotcha here that you absolutely need to know for the exam.
The process itself is pretty simple, really. You just go find the snapshot you want, automated or manual, doesn't matter, and you hit restore. It'll ask you for a name for the new database, and then boom, AWS starts spinning up a brand new instance with all that data.
And here it is, the big one. For the exam, you have to remember this. You can never restore a snapshot on top of an existing database. It doesn't work that way. A restore always creates a completely new database instance. That means a new endpoint, a new address. And what does that mean for you? You have to go into your application and change the connection string to point to this new database.
Now here's a neat little detail the exam might throw at you, something called lazy loading. When you do a restore, the database becomes available super fast, but it's kind of tricking you. Under the hood, the data isn't all there yet. It's being pulled from S3 to the new volume on demand. So the first time your app asks for a piece of data, there's a little pause while it gets fetched. Think of it like streaming a movie. It starts playing right away, but the whole file isn't downloaded yet. Performance gets better and better as more of the data gets warmed up on the new volume.
Of course, as a solutions architect, it's always about that three-way balance: features, performance, and cost. So let's talk about how snapshots play into that.
This is one of the absolute best selling points for running your database in multi-AZ. If you're on a single AZ instance, taking a snapshot can cause your database to freeze up for a few seconds, maybe even a minute. But with multi-AZ, AWS is way smarter. It just takes the snapshot from your standby instance, the backup one. Your main production database doesn't even feel a thing. It's a huge win for performance. Just keep that little exception for SQL Server in the back of your mind.
Okay, let's talk money. This is a big one to remember. AWS gives you a pretty generous freebie. You get free backup storage equal to the size of your database. So if you've got a 500 gigabyte database, you get 500 gigs of snapshot storage for free. Pretty cool, right?
So where do the costs come in? Well, you only start paying once the total size of all your snapshots, automated and manual combined, goes over that free amount. And the things that make the bill go up are pretty much what you'd expect: keeping automated backups around for longer, hoarding a ton of manual snapshots, or if your data changes a lot, because that makes each new snapshot bigger.
All right, so snapshots are great for backups. We get that. But they can do more. Let's talk about some of the more advanced things you can do, like sharing data and running analytics.
So, you can actually share your manual snapshots with totally different AWS accounts. This is awesome for, say, giving your dev team a first, realistic copy of the production data to work with. But there's a catch, and it's a big exam topic. If the snapshot is encrypted, the other account can't just restore it. They have to make their own copy of your shared snapshot first, and then they can restore from their copy. It's an extra step, but a crucial one for security.
This next one is a game changer for analytics. Imagine you need to run some huge, complex queries. You really don't want to do that on your live production database and slow everything down for your users, right? So instead, you can just export a snapshot directly to S3. It converts all the data into this super efficient format called Parquet, and then you can hammer it with queries using a tool like Amazon Athena. Your production database never even knows it happened. Total separation.
Okay, that was a lot. So let's just boil it all down. If you remember nothing else, remember these next few points for the exam. This is your lightning review.
Number 1, life cycle. Manual snapshots are forever until you delete them. Automated snapshots have an expiration date. They're automatically deleted after that 1 to 35-day period is up.
Number 2, recovery power. If you see the words recover to a specific second on the exam, your brain should scream automated backups. That's PITR. Manual snapshots can only take you back to the exact moment they were created. That's it.
And number 3, the restore process. Remember this. Say it with me. A restore always creates a new instance, always, which means you always have to update your application to point to that new endpoint.
Okay, so let's leave you with one final brain teaser to really tie this all together. How would you handle a mission-critical app that needs both immediate recovery from a mistake and has to keep backups for a full year for compliance? The answer is you use both. You'd set up automated backups for that fine-grained point-in-time recovery, and then you'd script out some manual snapshots to handle that one-year retention rule. That is how you think like a solutions architect. Now go nail that exam.